Hello everyone, this is Paul Rogers. Today is October 21st, 2017, and we are looking at Bitcoin US dollar daily chart. Now, in my last video, I think price action was somewhere around here. I said it was most likely we were going to see a pattern similar to this where Bitcoin touched this upward trend channel, bounced down, and then retested it. And lo and behold, it's happening. So what we're seeing here is that Bitcoin is actually testing and trying to break out of this daily trend channel. I assume that what's going to happen is that Bitcoin won't break through. It'll end up being something that looks like this, or maybe even something that looks like this, where it really does pop up but then retraces back down. And this is probably a pretty good spot to sell if you believe in technical analysis and you don't think that Bitcoin is going to moon, like really moon. If there's a whole bunch of really big players getting into Bitcoin all at the same time, it's completely possible that this chart will become invalid and there'll be an upward breakout of Bitcoin heading to 7, 8, 10,000, whatever. I mean, anything's really possible. Bitcoin could go to 10,000 by the end of the year. It's entirely possible. But the most likely scenario is that this is a good chance to sell Bitcoin and try to buy it back cheaper, assuming that it heads back down to this lower trend channel. But if you're, in all honesty, trading Bitcoin may not be always the best option, because there's something to be said for buying and holding. And if you're a little bit hesitant to game the market, so to speak, you're not doing anything wrong by buying and holding your Bitcoin at all. If you're a trader, obviously this is a very strong chart pattern right here. You don't even have to see these lines to know it's a very well defined upward trend channel. This is the daily chart, so it holds a lot of merit. If we go out to the 4-hour, we're looking at the same thing, just a little bit closer up. So I in my last video was saying I would recommend selling around 6,100-ish, and we're almost there. So I mean, Bitcoin could easily pop, but I think it's most likely going to retrace back down, and I would assume the next good buying opportunity would be around 4,000, 4,500, 4,600, depending on how long it takes. But we'd probably need some news to help push prices down there. Let's take a quick peek at Ethereum now. This is the daily chart, and what we're looking at is basically just a huge triangle, and I drew two resistance lines right here and two support lines. I think there's a pretty good buying opportunity if Ethereum heads down to around anywhere in this range, really. Whether you're going to look for the lower end of this or the higher end of this, I think they're both good opportunities for buying. So if Ethereum heads down to, I don't know, around 270 or so, I think that's a great buying opportunity. If there's some negative news that comes out about Ethereum, I think Ethereum could head all the way down to around 240-ish or so, depending on how long it takes to travel down there. 240, 250 would be a great spot as well. I do think that Ethereum is eventually going to break out of this, and I think it's going to break out to the upside. So, I mean, right now all the attention is on Bitcoin. There's a lot of people that want the Bitcoin gold that's going to be produced. I think people are just kind of jazzed about that. And I think Bitcoin is getting some of its market share back. There was the whole talk of the flippening and Ripple going through the roof. And Bitcoin lost a lot of market share compared to the altcoins. And it saw its market dominance go from 90% last year all the way down to, I think it was around 40% or so. Now we're at what, 57, 58%, I want to say, market dominance. So Bitcoin's getting some of its market cap back, and it could go all the way back up to 80 or 90% dominance. I don't think it will, because I think Ethereum offers some very unique things that Bitcoin does not. And I think as much as everyone hates Ripple, it does. It could be the bank's version of blockchain that they go with, and Ripple could obviously have a nice price run as well. So, and if Dash, I love Dash. Dash has been kind of indecisive lately. It's formed a really symmetrical triangle right here. And if Evolution comes out and rocks, I've said this before in my videos, I think Dash is heading higher. If Evolution doesn't come out, is delayed, or disappoints in any way, we will see cheap Dash. Dash will head down to under $200 for sure, probably around one. What would a good buying opportunity for Dash be? Say around there would be good, around 200. 200 is probably a great place to pick up Dash in case there's some delays or what have you. But right now, it's all Bitcoin. Everything else, like Ethereum and Dash, are stuck in triangles, kind of zigzagging, where Bitcoin is rising, and it's completely possible that Bitcoin is going to head and actually break out of this really strong daily upward trend channel. It's entirely possible. So, if you feel like trading, sell your Bitcoin now and try to buy back lower. But you have to be, this time I'm feeling like there's a good chance that Bitcoin could actually break out to the upside. So I personally am selling a little bit of my Bitcoin right now, not too much. I'm cashing out some of my Bitcoin. But I'm definitely not, like last time, I think my very first video, I was predicting a crash in Bitcoin. And I think I was predicting it, I don't know, maybe it was around here or so, and then it crashed, had a pretty nice little crash. I'm not getting the same feeling that Bitcoin is gonna just turn around and start heading down. So it's what's called the pain trade. It's painful to sell Bitcoin right now because it's so bullish, but it probably is a smart thing to do, even though it just feels so powerful and strong right now. It's like nothing can stop Bitcoin. Nothing is stopping Bitcoin from going to $7,000, $8,000, $10,000. That's what it feels like right now. But then again, things are never quite as good as they seem or as bad as they seem. And right now, everything seems so good. So it may actually be a great time to sell a little bit of Bitcoin, as I did. Anyhow, wanted to give you guys a quick update. I hope everyone is well. I'm going to try to make some videos about other things besides doing technical analysis on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Dash, but I've been lazy. And I know some of you value my opinion on this technical chart analysis kind of stuff. I don't get too complicated with the chart analysis. Some people you'll see, look at charts and draw a bunch of lines everywhere, and I think they look a little bit too much in the charts. You want to look at things that everyone is seeing, because the things that everyone is seeing, that is what's going to put everyone is putting sell orders right here. Everyone, because everyone can see this daily trend channel. Everyone's putting sell orders here. So the chances of retracing are much higher because everyone's seeing the same thing. That's what, in my opinion, makes technical analysis correct, is the fact that everyone starts to see the same thing and it kind of creates its own reality. And if everyone's putting sell orders here, whether you believe in technical analysis or not, the people that are putting sell orders here will push the price down and make this chart come true. Make these lines that I draw that are more or less imaginary lines, make them into reality. So I don't really believe in getting too cutesy with drawing lines, but I do think that I mean, every person that knows anything about, that trades forex, that trades equities, whatever, the first thing they'll do is draw a trend line when they see this price movement, and so everyone's looking at the same thing, and that basically reinforces it. So especially right here, if you look at this, I mean, there was a ton of buyers that stepped in and just bought up Bitcoin, even though there was so much negative news coming out about it. FUD, they just stepped in and bought it. Now we're going to need people to step in and sell it, assuming you want Bitcoin to retrace and to pick up some more cheap Bitcoin. Anyhow, y'all have a good night. Paul Rogers out.